great to see you, man, because the last time you and I spoke was when the pandemic actually first started, and we did a phone interview. And you did this great song that was about the summer. And I don't know, man. It was funny because when I was getting ready to talk to you again, I was thinking to myself, maybe I shouldn't talk to this guy because every time I talk to him, it seems like it's a bad part of the pandemic or
Right.
something. So I don't know if somehow worlds collide when you and I are talking or whatever, but either way, man, I'm happy to talk to you, man, and congratulations with all the success. Like I asked you back then, I'll ask you now, man, how have you been doing throughout this? What is this, the third or fourth part of this pandemic, man?
Oh yeah, Rudy, it's good to see you. And yeah, it's funny how much has happened since the last time we spoke. Yeah, I mean, since the beginning of the pandemic until now, essentially, I've hunkered down here in my little home studio. I've been doing a lot of production for other artists, and while doing that, I've been writing an album and producing an album and just working on it. And it's finally finished, and that's kind of that's my big focus right now.
Congratulations on that, man. Look, throughout the summer, were you getting in any shows? Were you able to get out there?
Yeah, so we had that very brief period of time where things opened. We had our open for summer here in Alberta, and um, there was some festivals that were going on, outdoor shows because it was beautiful out. I got to play this really big event here in Edmonton we have called Taste of Edmonton. And
Cool.
so there was over 1,000 people there in like outside Churchill Square. It was just an amazing event, and that was really just it hit home, and it was really nice to just see people and play live music again. So it was very short lived, like it kind of ended very quickly as soon as it started almost. But I'm glad that I at least was able to play that show and a couple others.
Now, were you making plans for the winter, or did you already know that things were going to happen? Because some of the toughest places, like Toronto's been and Ontario's been hit bad, Quebec's been hit bad, Alberta's been hit bad too.
Yeah.
Were there plans that you were making for the winter in touring or shows or whatever, or were you like, okay, we've only got the summer, I know it, that's it, shut down, let's make some new plans?
Yeah, my plans were a little bit tentative because in the back of my mind, I know that there's always a chance that we might lock down again. I actually went on tour with another artist named Martin Kerr, and I was his opener. And that tour was unfortunately the back end of it was canceled, or postponed, I guess. But that was really the only thing that I had like concretely booked. Everything else, I was just trying to play it safe. For me right now, I've got a CD release show booked in May, so I hope by May we'll be okay.
That's
I've booked it
smart.
out far enough that like you know, if anything happens, I have enough time to figure it out and plan something else. But I'm really hoping nothing happens, and by May we're kind of in the green.
Yeah,
But
because I
we'll
tell you
see.
something, man, the amount of shots I've been taking, I don't know if my arm can take it anymore, man. It's
Yeah,
gonna start falling off. But you got to do
literally.
what you got to do to,
Yeah,
make sure everybody's safe and that we can continue to what we're doing.
for
But
sure.
you continued with the music though. But I think I asked you this before, but especially now, before all this pandemic, I assume you were writing music one way, meaning, of course, your themes, your outlook through music. Did that change, and did it change more during the pandemic and the stories that you wanted to tell through music?
Yeah, I mean, like, so the last time we spoke, it was about a song called Leave Summer Behind. And that song was just essentially about how um, just everybody's summer looked different than it probably ever has before. And, summer's supposed to be a time that people can go outside and see their friends and hang out with people and travel. And it's exactly what we weren't able to do. And um, a lot of my writing past that point has transformed a little bit into more just being more sensitive of the fact that there's a lot of things we can't do anymore, and there's a lot of things that aren't so normal that used to be normal. But I also am now trying to find the balance because I don't want to just be the pandemic song guy. I don't want to just write songs about being in a pandemic and being in lockdown. And I think people are at the point where they're almost tired of hearing those.
Yeah.
So definitely towards the beginning, I was catering more towards that and ideas revolving around that. And now I'm almost trying to transition out of it, because I feel like people miss, it's almost like nostalgic now to hear music not about the pandemic. So I'm just trying to find a balance.
And it's funny because with this new single that we're going to talk about, it's a fun single, and I think everybody at some point in their life, I think, have gone through this in some way, shape, or form. But I'm just curious. I know people say that your style is like The Weekend and artists like that. It's funny listening to this one. I was thinking more like it was like more back in 1979 with Chic or the Brothers Johnson or something like
Yes.
that. It's okay. So you do have that old school feel from back then with this.
Absolutely, absolutely, yeah. And that was definitely intentional. All the the old school synths and the Junos and all this kind of stuff, and even just the more like disco-y dance beat,
Yeah.
like all of that was very um intentional. And I wanted to trigger a sense of nostalgia with this song, and that's kind of thematically and also musically, make it a little bit of a nostalgic feeling song. And you're not the first person who said that to me, so that's perfect. That's like, it makes me smile every time I hear that, because that's kind of what we were setting out to do, and it's great to hear that. Yeah, you heard that.
We need that, man. Like, look, again, I always keep saying this. I don't knock the artists of today, all right?
Right.
But my biggest problem, though, is a lot of the songs that the newer artists are putting out there, it's not songs that you can dance to a club. You got to find a DJ who can remix it and add beats to be able to dance to those songs at clubs. Your
Yeah.
song is definitely a song you don't have to touch, man. Put
Thank you.
down and people are going to jam. So let's get to it. Making it official. What is the new single called and what is it about, sir?
Yeah, the new single is called This Party Sucks, and basically it is just about, you know, um going to a party that you don't want to go to because somebody you like is going to be there, and you're hoping for that one chance to talk to them. And yeah, I feel like we've all been there at some point. I've definitely been there. And I just wanted it to be a fun song and make people, excited for when we can have, get-togethers and parties again. So I just hope it accomplishes that, and I hope people enjoy it.
Man, mine was back in the day when we roller skated. I went roller skating
Yes,
just because of a female that I knew was going to be there, and I thought
there
that
we
was my
go.
only chance to do the hookup. It didn't work.
Oh
Didn't
man, I'm
work.
sorry.
But that's okay, because that's the important thing, because at least you try, you know?
Exactly.
And that's the other thing, too, that I love about what you said with this song about going to. Because, man, too many people are trying to make relationships through social media and
Yes,
Facebook. There's no more of the,
face to
let me
face.
go up, talk, and like, talk about this part, man. There's no more of that, of, you know, being able to talk to somebody of the opposite sex, this way and just speaking. Everything now is
Definitely.
like, and you can say and be
Absolutely.
whoever you want to be.
Totally. Yeah, and it's unfortunate that that kind of started even before the pandemic. I think the pandemic definitely made it more uh like you didn't really have another choice,
Yeah.
but even before the pandemic, like a lot of, dating and all this kind of stuff, and even just reaching out to a girl, sliding into their DMs, let's call it, um it's just not, it's not the way it should be done. It's not, you should be able to like walk up to somebody and say like, hey, I like you, can I take you for dinner, something like that. But there's, you lost that, right? So
Oh man, the skills are so gone. Oh, it just hurts. I actually met a guy who said that all the girlfriends as he's had them through all through social media. He's
oh my
never
gosh.
actually walked up and spoke. And I said, man, you don't know what you're missing. And he's like,
No.
well, what if they turned you down? I said, that's the beauty of it too,
Yeah,
because if they turned you down, you've learned something so that you know what to do the next time around.
exactly.
Yeah, I keep saying
Very
over.
sad.
I'm so glad
I'm
I grew
totally
up.
with you on that, man. I'm totally with you on that.
Now you mentioned about a new album. What's this album going to feel like, and when do we think it's going to be dropping?
Yeah, so this album is going to be dropping on May 20th, and it's
Mhm.
called Melodrama. And
Ooh,
not melodrama, but melodrama. And
I like
it's
that.
funny because I had that word in my head for so long, and I looked it up, and there's no other albums with that name. And so I thought, it just fits the theme so well because a lot of the songs are very, laid back and chill, and but they're also very dramatic in theme, and so
Mhm.
they're about very specific things that are um that can be portrayed in many different ways, whether through music or through visuals. But I just thought melodrama was, it just sounded nice, and I you know just
And
went with
that
it.
and it's that was the first thing I was thinking, because we have a lot of time. Does that mean video wise we could be telling a story, a trilogy, something where it goes from one song telling a story to another song telling a story, but they're connected together?
Absolutely. That's
Cannot wait.
exactly it. I can't say any more than that, but you pretty much got it.
I cannot wait for this, man. Look, I'm going to let you go. Thank you so much for doing this interview.
Of course.
Congratulations on the new single. Looking forward to this trilogy, what's going on, and crossing fingers, man, that somehow, some way, not only are you going to get the tour around as we speak, of course, Juno Awards is supposed to be kicking around in Toronto,
Yep.
and hopefully, man, that you can make it down here and do some shows, or maybe you're on that red carpet. Who knows, man?
We'll see. Thank you so much for having me though, and I hope to see you soon.